Mike, we saw another budget here at Province House this week, the 7th by this government. They talk a lot about the fact that it's their 5th consecutive balanced budget, but it's also a budget with a lot of spending in it.
Yeah, and one of the groups that's the biggest recipient of that is the most needy folks here in Nova Scotia, and the government has been criticized in the past for not doing enough on this issue. In this week's budget, we saw big increases in spending for things like addressing homelessness, housing availability, and child poverty, which has been a real stubborn issue here in Nova Scotia. And department officials on budget day acknowledging that a lot of this spending reflects the fact that efforts to date simply haven't moved the needle far enough.
But advocates who are there on behalf of families who are struggling say it's really too little, too late. They point to the fact that businesses got a massive tax cut in their eyes, compared to the paltry amount that the government is shifting over to essentially try to win some of the votes away from the NDP and their core strength, which is advocating on behalf of the poor.
And that approach, but also that tax cut you mentioned, is what has some people speculating about the fact that we could see a provincial election sometime this year. That tax cut amounts to about $80 million for businesses, both small and large. It's something that's been highly praised by the Halifax Chamber of Commerce, and it's something that plays to another demographic that the Liberals would need to support them. The other thing notable about this budget, and we saw this signaled in an analysis piece that you wrote and then also come true down here, is the Liberals are going to hurry up the passage of this budget.
And it's a numbers game. Hugh McKay, the MLA for Chester St. Margaret's, leaving the Liberal caucus, persuaded to leave, no doubt, because he is facing yet another charge of driving while impaired. Yesterday, the official opposition, and certainly Tim Houston, made a big show of tabling what can only be described as damning emails detailing exactly what happened on November 22nd. So the fact that Hugh McKay is no longer sitting in caucus and is now an independent means the government essentially has a bare majority in the House. There are 2 by-elections underway. If the government were to lose both those, then we could see a scenario where we have a tie vote.
So what we do know is that because of that bare majority, this budget will pass. It will pass before March break. We'll be waiting to see what happens after that.